I'm Torrey Smith from the Philadelphia Eagles, and you're watching CITV.
Every year we want to acknowledge our seniors, but before we do, I always want to share with our Suburban 1 League opponents, acknowledging their seniors, because we're all in this together, and we appreciate their competition and the camaraderie that they give us. So before we do anything else, our Upper Moreland seniors that I've got listed, AJ Burrell, Charles Hoffman, he's hiding over there, awesome. And Kelsey Stauffer. Kelsey. Again, we really appreciate all the seniors, and we want to make sure that we're acknowledging them. Without further ado, I'm going to just mention our guys. Again, nothing too formal here. We just want to acknowledge our guys and our gals, and just have a little something for them. And then we'll, at our bowling banquet after the season, we'll do a little bit more for our seniors. So just very quickly, I'll start with the gentlemen. We have 7 guys that are seniors this year. Last year I had 5 total seniors. This year we have 7 just guys. And I don't know if he's here, but Vince Quintiliano is our first senior. This is his first year bowling, and he's unfortunately he's had a lot of conflicts with his job and work. But Vince Quintiliano came in this year and did a great job, so give it up for Vince. And I kind of did this in my years of service, but I screwed that up last year, so I don't know if it's going to work. But my next senior is a guy who came in and decided to adopt that two-handed approach that everybody loves. It's been a little hit or miss, but when it's on, it's really good. I think he's been bowling 3 years for me. I'm not sure, but I really appreciate his leadership and what he gives to the team. Evan Ellegaard. And this next senior has been in and around the team for, I think, all 4 years. And I'm extremely happy that he's participating and producing the way he is this year. And that is Jack Snyder. I love Jack because he wears like 2 years ago uniform, but that's pretty cool.
Thank you for me. Thank you.
And then this senior's been here for 4 years, and I love his enthusiasm and his energy. He's always excited, and his average has gone up and up and up and up, and that is Luke Kelly. All right, wow. And then I've got another senior who's been here for 4 years, and again, seeing his average coming up, for me, that's what it's all about, is watching the individual performance and the improvement. Never fails to ask me how the team did. I don't think anybody else on my team asks me, did we win? Did we lose? What did we do? So he cares about it, and I really appreciate it. Justin Lawrence. And these last two are like 2 peas in a pod, yin and yang, where one is, the other one always is. I think Saturday mornings and also for bowling for the last 4 years. Both hover on the same averages for a long time, and now this year our leadoff, again, showing some great promise and poise, and that's David Surto. And his partner in crime, who's had an unbelievable year, he doesn't know it, but on Monday he surpassed for the team average, is the highest average for the season, and with some amazing games over the past week or two, and that is Zach Mueller. Zach, all right. All right, and now for the ladies, I have 6 ladies. One of them I don't think is here, unfortunately. But as I call for the ladies, if the gentlemen that have the flowers can come forward one at a time and present them. And again, the first one, I don't think she's here. but I want to mention her anyway. She's been an integral part of the team for 3 years, and again had some conflicts for the rest of this season. But Gabby Pomian has been a terrific addition to the team. Everyone give it up for Gabby Pomian. And this next young lady who's been maybe just a couple of years now with us, but has definitely improved. And I think if she didn't have the musical that she was doing, she probably would be a consistent varsity starter. And that is Nina Ayala. And now, again, this next one came in, and again, she's very coachable, a lot of energy, a lot of... Zach, I call the Mueller shrug with Zach sometimes, whenever he throws something out. Brooklyn sort of does that with her shots. She's like, I tried, and I love that about her. But she's awesome, and she's a lot of fun to be around. Brooklyn Haasas. These next two young ladies hate that they're on varsity. They don't want to be on varsity. They never wanted to be on varsity, but they are contributing like no one else, and I'm super proud of that. So once I think I got them comfortable with it, now they don't want to come off varsity. But I love what they're doing, the consistency. I love the other day they started their own little like team cheer kind of thing after they get marched, and it was really a lot of fun to watch. So first one here is Sarah Rashino. Sarah. And her partner in crime, who's really come on this year, and we wouldn't be where we are without her, with her improving literally every single match, and that is Lauren Cosgrave. Yeah! And finally, my last senior, who has really been an anchor for the last 2 years with his team and improving and showing some maturity and some energy. Again, hoping that we're going to make it back to states this year, and that is Destiny Wilson. Will. So that's it. Thank you all for your patience. There are refreshments in the back, but we're going to get started with some practice, and we're going to get bowling, and then the food for everybody, by the way. The food is available for everybody once we get bowling and started, okay? Coach, thank you very much for your patience. Team, thank you for your patience. All right, we're going to get started. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's Wednesday, January 30th, 2019. We're at Facenda Whitaker Lanes in East Norton for Suburban 1 American Boys Bowling between the Upper Moreland Golden Bears and the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials. The Golden Bears are coached by Howard Cohen. They are 19-29 in the conference, which is 6th place at the moment. Plymouth Whitemarsh, meanwhile, coached by Jeff Blizzard, 19.5 to 24.5 in the conference, which is 4th place. Upper Moreland coming off of a 4-0 win of visiting Quakertown on January 28th, 27-41 to 26-17, while the Colonials coming off of a non-league loss, 4-0 to Springford at Limerick Bowl in Pottstown on January 28th. We'll have 3 games of bowling, 10 frames each. Upper Moreland will be wearing the purple shirts and tan pants. Upper Moreland has Ethan Connell, Ben Aya, Charles Hoffman, Styles Costello, and senior anchor A.J. Borrell. The Colonials have David Serto, Evan Elgart, Jack Snyder, Zach Miller, and Tyler Panzer. Ethan Connell will be on the right lane leading off for Upper Moreland with a 139.85 average. Gets the jersey cross. It starts out with a 9 count, leaving the 9. Here's David Serto. 9 count for him. The senior Serto. This is his 3rd full year on varsity. A 167.11 varsity and conference average with a 239 high game and 613 high series. Connell cannot convert. Starts his day with an open. It's senior day for Plymouth Whitemarsh, so it's the final home match for PW seniors. David Serto gets the 1-pin spare. That'll bring up the 2 holes. Ben Aya on the right for Upper Moreland and Evan Elgart on the left for PW. Aya leaves the 10 pin. Aya averaging 169.88. Elgart, also a member of the PW varsity boys soccer team, also leaves the 10. Good conversion for Ben Aya. That's a spare. Elgart, meanwhile, will follow suit. PW, 2 spares. No opens so far in the first frame of game 1. Upper Moreland has 1 match to go, while PW has 2 matches to go after this one. Here's Charles Hoffman, one of 2 Upper Moreland seniors. This is his 3rd full year on varsity. He starts off with a 9 count. Here's Jack Snyder, another PW senior. Struggles to find rhythm on his first ball. Only gets to 7. Hoffman averaging 177.64 in Suburban 1 American play. And that is good count for Hoffman. Snyder leaves 1 pin behind. To clarify, Ben Aya was given a 9 open. At first it looked like he didn't open, but he did. And there's Styles Costello with the flush. Costello with the strike. Here's Zach Miller gets all 10. He's been having an impressive run recently. His 3rd full year on varsity. Tell you what, he's improved ever since he started with the bowling team. And there's senior A.J. Borwell with all 10. His 4th year on varsity. Upper Moreland 48, PW 39 as Tyler Panzer now. And he's got all 10. So Upper Moreland at 48, PW at 49 through 1 frame of game 1. So Upper Moreland had 2 strikes, a spare, and 2 opens. PW 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open. Second frame now, Serto on the right side. And he finds the flush. Spare and a strike for Serto. Ethan Connell after opening the first frame. Evan Elgart now looking for back-to-back marks, and he does. PW has 4 strikes in a row. PW leading 89-55. PW needs to be careful in the matchup. And Moreland over the years has given PW fits here. A couple of 3-1 defeats at the hands of Upper Moreland that PW should have won. Connell's second ball. 2 of 3 back-to-back open frames for Ethan Connell. Jack Snyder starts with a 7. So it appears that for the 2nd straight season, Upper Moreland will not be qualifying for the Eastern PA Team Regional Competition. Meanwhile, Ben Aya puts all the pins away. His first strike. The 2-hole for Upper Moreland. Now Snyder's second ball. Clean. And Snyder with an open and a spare, give him 19 and counting. We're in the middle of frame 2 of game 1. PW 99, Upper Moreland 67. Charles Hoffman with 15 200 games in his conference career. Hoffman so far leaving the 2 and 5 pins. Zach Miller now. Oh, and he gets everything down the last moment. Miller averaging in conference play 181.82, currently 13th in average in Suburban 1 American. The top 10 automatically qualify for regional singles on March 1st. Hoffman completes the second roll with a spare. Now Tyler Panzer cannot get the 4 pin to go down. Styles Costello on the left side now for the Golden Bears. And he's got back-to-back jacks. Costello averaging 170.47 in the conference this season. For 225 high game, 564 high series. A.J. Borrell will be on the left side. Panzer completed the spare. He'll get 9. Borrell has grown each year as a freshman, 160.59. This year, 193.92, currently 6th in Suburban 1 American in average. As a junior, December 11th, 2017, Borrell had an 824 series out of 900, which included a 299 game. So he has improved substantially since he first started rolling a bowling ball at the Willow Grove School. And A.J. Borrell with back-to-back marks. That'll do it for the second frame of Game 1. PW 139, Upper Moreland 125. Ethan Connell will leave the 10 pin. PW's on the left lane now, lane 43. In the second frame, Upper Moreland had 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open. PW a clean frame, 3 strikes and 2 spares. David Serto now. And he leaves 4 pins. Head coach Jeff Wizard calls Serto and Zach Miller 2 peas in a pod. Basically bowl together quite often, whether it's weekend league or on the team. And that's 3 straight open frames for Ethan Connell, who has bowled, I believe, 13 games on varsity in the conference entering this one. So the 1, 2, 8, and 10, and he gets them all. That shows improvement. He has grown a lot ever since he started bowling for PW. Now Ben Aya has back-to-back jacks. After the first frame open, he has 2 strikes. Evan Elgart with a 9 count. Hard to believe 2 years ago, Upper Moreland finished 2 games behind North Penn in the standings. At 35-13, that was second place. The Golden Bears competed at the Eastern PA Team Regionals thanks to finishing second in the conference. Charles Hoffman and A.J. Burrell each had 458 free game totals in the team qualifying portion. Elgart picks the 1-pin spare. Make that 9 straight marks for the Colonials. PW averaging in conference play this season 855 a game. 964 high game in the conference, a 2774 high series, 27-200 games. Jack Snyder now. Beautiful finish. 10 straight marks for the Colonials. Hoffman now. Oh, and at the last moment, everything fell down. The pin setter needs to be reset, and Hoffman has his first strike, give him 47 and counting. Zach Miller on a double. It's got to be a jersey here. Miller will show emotion. Zach Miller and David Serto made their varsity debuts the same day. February 4, 2016 at Brunswick Zone XL in Feasterville, now Bowlerville, in a 3-1 non-league loss against Council Rock South. And that is a good finish for Miller. Now here's Costello, and he starts the match with a turkey. Let's start for Styles Costello. 226 to 204 Colonials over the Golden Bears in the third frame of Game 1. Anchor time. Tyler Panzer takes out the pins with authority. Second straight frame for the Colonials with nothing but marks. 2 strikes, 3 spares, no opens. A.J. Burrell follows suit. As a freshman in 15-16, he struggled getting 500 series, and now marks are easy to come by for him. 4 strikes, no spares, and open for the Golden Bears in the third frame. Fourth frame now, and Ethan Connell is off the schneid with his first mark. A strike. That's 5 strikes in a row for the Golden Bears. Give him 37 and counting. David Serto. Yes, sir. 4 marks in 4 frames, and PW has now marked 13 straight bowlers. Meanwhile, Ben Aya can't get the turkey, leaving the 5 pin. AJ Burrell, by the way, in his varsity conference career, 2 600 series, 2 700 plus series. Second ball now for Aya. And he'll finish. Open, strike, strike, spare for Ben Aya. 68 and counting. Evan Elgart can't hit the head pin. Right now it's 64 and counting. Plymouth Whitemarsh will fail to qualify for Eastern PA Regionals for the 3rd straight season. PW last made regionals in 2016 as the 2nd place finisher at a conference. Back then. Charles Hoffman now. Beautiful execution. And Hoffman with back-to-back jacks. Elgart gets 1 of 3. And that ends PW's run of marks at 13 straight bowlers. It's only the 2nd open for PW in game 1. Styles Costello now on a turkey. And he has his first non-strike. Jack Snyder did not hit the head pin. If Snyder bowls 2 full varsity games today, he will be eligible to qualify for Eastern PA Regional Singles competition. You need to bowl at least 21 varsity conference games during the season. And that is an open for Styles Costello. He's at 86 and counting after starting with a turkey. Snyder comes up empty as well. That's back-to-back opens for PW. Now here's AJ Borrell. Didn't like that ball. 2-7 split. Here's Zach Miller. And for the 2nd straight frame, Miller does not hit the head pin. Nicely done by AJ Borrell. Absolutely what you need to do. Upper Moreland 329, PW 311. Upper Moreland with 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open. Miller's 2nd ball. And he only gets 1 of 4. Zach Miller had a 677 series against Norristown on January 24th, which you saw on CITV. Before the match, Jeff Blizzard held a senior recognition ceremony for both teams and mentioned that Miller is one of the best averages on the team, including non-league matches. Here's anchor Tyler Panzer, and he's got 3 strikes in 4 frames. So PW 2 strikes, no spares, 3 opens. Now we go to the 5th frame of game 1. It's 332 to 329 Colonials. David Serto asserts the lanes with his 3rd strike. He is open free through 5, give him 90 and counting. Now 2-hole Evan Elgart on the left lane for Plymouth Whitemarsh. He follows suit. That's 3 straight strikes for the Colonial bowlers. That's 11 strikes already for PW. Ethan Connell with an 8 count, leaving the 4 and 7 pins on the right lanes. Now Jack Snyder. It's a much better ball. And you get rewarded when your ball is looking that good. PW, 3 bowlers in the 5th frame, 3 strikes. Good pickup for Ethan Connell, back-to-back marks. Gives the Upper Moreland lead off 57 and counting. It's 372 to 349 PW. Zach Miller What is going on with Mueller? First 2 frames, very sharp, and now struggling to hit the head pin. Benaya, meanwhile, 6, 9, and 10 pins. Zach Mueller is the defending Suburban One American Tournament champion, won first place in 2018. And Zach Mueller takes care of business. He's got 80 and counting. Good job for Aya. 4 straight marks after opening frame 1. Give him 85 and counting. Of course, life is different for Upper Moreland since John Searles graduated in 2017. Have been a consistent anchor who could get a lot of 600 series for you. Panzer gets 8. On the left side, here's Charles Hoffman trying to look for a turkey. But so far, open free. He'll have to deal with just the 10. Panzer has the 4 and 7. PW up 406 to 393. The 5th frame of game 1. Panzer. And that is PW's 5th open of the game. 3 strikes in the spare, though. Now, Hoffman. So got to hurry. No, it won't. And that's the first open for senior Charles Hoffman. Hoffman last year was 166.94 at conference play, so almost an 11-pin average increase. Good ball there for Styles Costello. That's his 4th strike in 5 frames, giving him 96 and counting. So PW has 406, Upper Moreland 403 for A.J. Burrell. He qualified for Eastern PA Regionals as a freshman by securing 1 of 3 Suburban One American wild cards. And that's his 3rd strike and 5 frames. He is open free. He's got 90 and counting. Couldn't get 600 series as a freshman and sophomore, but he has been consistent as a junior and senior. And Upper Moreland has taken a 423 to 406 lead after 5 frames in game 1 in this Suburban One American clash. 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open for the Golden Bears. PW, 3 strikes, a spare, and an open in the 5th. David Serto time. That 7 won't budge. Ethan Connell now on back-to-back marks. Avoids trouble. We'll have to get the 3 and 9 pins. So we'll have to roll it straight. Of course, one thing you have to be mindful of in bowling, shifts in oil patterns. There are actually different types of oil patterns you have to adjust to. Good pickup for Serto. 3 spares, 3 strikes, give him 119 and counting through 6 in game 1. Connell cannot get spin on that. That's his 4th open. Here's Evan Elgart. Looks like he got robbed, leaving the 9 pin on the right side. Ben Aya, 2 strikes, 2 spares, and an open, but has been open free in the last 4 frames, in each of the last 4 frames. This time he'll have to deal with 4 pins, the 1, 2, 4, and 8. And that's another good pickup for the Colonials, this time by Elgart, who's got 5 marks and 6 frames, giving him 95 and counting. Elgart averaging 153.43 in conference play. Good job there for Ben Aya, his 5th straight mark. Give him 101 and counting. Jack Snyder. Another 9 count. PW has 7 male bowlers who are seniors, 6 ladies who are graduating this year. Oh, and it's the dreaded 7-10 for Charles Hoffman. Just a free pin for Snyder, and he gets it. 3 straight spares in this frame for the Colonials. Snyder with 87 and counting. Colonials up 475 to 463 in the middle of the 6th frame in game 1. Charles Hoffman will pick up the 7. Now it's Zach Miller. Well, that 7's going to stay. That's a much better ball. Costello. 4 strikes and 5 frames. Make it 5 and 6. The only hiccup right now is the 8 and 1 in the 4th frame. Costello 116 and counting. His high game 225. And that looks like he'll get it. And Miller, 2 strikes, 3 spares in an open. Give him 99 and counting. He's going to need a really nice day. AJ Borrell. That's a back-to-back jack situation for him. Give him 110 and counting. Here's Tyler Panzer. And he's got 3 pins to the right side. So Upper Moreland, 2 strikes, a spare, and 2 opens. It's 504 to 501 Upper Moreland, pending on the Panzer roll. Tyler Panzer will not pick it up. That 10 didn't budge. PW could have spared out the frame. There was 0 strikes, 4 spares, and an open. And David Serto gets a 7 count to 1, 2, and 10 pins. PW at 12 strikes, 12 spares, and 6 opens. Here's Ethan Connell. He'll get a 9 count to begin his 7th frame. Good try for Serto, and that's his first open. Only the 7th open for PW in game 1. 519 to 513. Elgart. A little bit too much spin. 1, 3, and 6 pins. Ethan Connell with the finish. Only his 3rd mark in 7 frames, though. Give him 83 and counting. And he looks much better. And he is rewarded. Evan Elgart with 2 strikes, 4 spares, and an open. Give him 112. Meanwhile, Ben Aya leaving the 7. Howard Cohen, believed to be the 3rd Upper Moreland head bowling coach in the last 10 years. Before him, John Cola, and I believe Dean Simonson, whose twin sons, Jared and Dean, bowled for the Golden Bears at one point. Jack Snyder puts him down. That's his 3rd strike. Give him 107 and counting. Aya on lane 44 finishes up his 4th straight spare. Give him 120 and counting. 556 to 533. Colonials over Upper Moreland. Zach Miller would really like some strikes now. That's how you get it done. It's all about adjustments. He's at 119 and counting through 7. Hoffman. So it looks like Charles Hoffman for the 4th straight year will not have a top average in conference play. Oh, that's an ugly ball for Tyler Panzer. That's a 2-10 split. PW's first split of the match. Hoffman picks it up. Hoffman, after back-to-back open frames, gets the 1 pin spare. And that's 5 marks in a row. 3 straight spares for the Golden Bears. 584, 543, Colonials. Panzer with his 3rd straight open frame. He's at 112 and counting. Here's Styles Costello. Gobble, gobble, his 2nd turkey. of the game. And Upper Moreland has fared well here in the past. Back on February 8th, 2010, Plymouth, Whitemarsh, and Upper Moreland split the match, but PW had the greater pinfall 31-23 to 29-99. And that's only a nudge, but a 9 count for A.J. Borrell. PW 2 strikes, a spare, and 2 opens in the 7th frame. Upper Moreland now at 600, PW at 585. Borrell trying to remain open free, and he will. The reason why he is Upper Moreland's anchor. Upper Moreland, 1 strike, 4 spares, no opens in the 7th. Now it's the 8th frame of game 1. Golden Bears up 602 to 585 on PW's Senior Day. U-Bowl 3 games, 10 frames each. It was a jersey in the pocket, and Ethan Connell gets a 5. Howard Cohen might be thinking about subbing out Ethan Connell after this game, as Nick Keene, Ryan De Leon, and Max Ginvain also seen action on varsity this season. Serto shaking his head after a 3-10 split here. Back-to-back split opportunities for the Colonials. Connell with his 2nd straight 1-pin spare. He's at 102 and counting. His high game on conference play this season, 186, 470 high series. Really good ball, and he gets it done. One of the more manageable spare opportunities when you have a split. And there's Benaya with the strike. And make that now 9 straight marks for Upper Moreland. Golden Bears up 641 to 595. PW has 2 matches left after this one. January 31st against Upper Dublin at Thunderbird Warminster. And then the following week, season finale at Earl Bull Earlington against Penridge. The circumstances permit. Evan Elgart dealing with just 1 pin. He picks up the 1-pin spare. That gives him 131 in 8 frames. Charles Hoffman, a lighter touch, 11.7 miles per hour. 15 Suburban 1 American bowlers are slated to qualify for Eastern PA Regional Singles, and Jack Snyder hoping to be one of them, but he'll most likely have to do it through the wild card route. He has back-to-back jacks. It's top 10 averages and 5 wild cards based on finish at the Suburban 1 American tournament. I believe that's scheduled February 12th. And it is a 1-pin spare for Hoffman. Make that 10 straight marks for the Golden Bears. Here's Miller. Yes. Back-to-back jacks for him gives him 139 through 8. Costello, after his 2nd turkey, with a 7. He's at a 167 right now. Tyler Panzer, the PW anchor. One of 4 Colonials last year to qualify for Eastern PA Regional Singles. Costello with the pickup and gets props for it. 11 straight marks for the Golden Bears. 686 to 661. By the way, I mentioned not too long ago about the February 8th, 2010 matchup in which PW won by pinfall. Eric Laflamme had a 677 series for Upper Moreland, which included a 266 game. 9 strikes in a row to begin the game, and A.J. Burrell still open free with the strike. And how about the 2nd straight frame for Upper Moreland without an open? 2 strikes and 3 spares. And now we're in the 9th frame. Panzer picked up the spare. PW with 2 strikes and 3 spares. And a good shot for David Serto. His first strike since the 5th frame. Give him 165. Here's Connell. Now Evan Elgart on 4 straight marks on the left side. He'll manage a 1-pin opportunity, a 5-pin. Elgart in his Suburban 1 American varsity career averaging 158.62. Connell gets 2 of 3. First open for Upper Moreland since the split open by Charles Hoffman in the 6th. And that is a 1-pin open for Evan Elgart. Right now it's 722 to 702 Upper Moreland in the 9th frame. Golden Bears coming off a 4-0 win against Quakertown, Thunderbird Warminster. Quakertown currently 3rd place in the division. Penridge 2nd. North Penn already wrapped up the conference. Right now 47-1 the Knights are. Ben Naya has a 9 count. Meanwhile, Jack Snyder on the left lane for PW has 6. So he has to deal with the 1, 2, 4, and 8 pins. For the match, we had to go through some snow squalls. It was very quick, but hard to see the roads. Unfortunately, situation cleared up for us to come out here and bring this to you. And a good finish there for Jack Snyder in the 9th frame of Game 1. Give him 153. Benaya now on 6 straight marks. Actually, 8 straight marks. The only blemish right now is the first frame 1-pin open. It's at 160 and counting. Here's Miller on a double. And he jumps up and down. He wanted that 10-pin. You'll see Zach Miller do that from time to time. He's ultra competitive. Hoffman. This is the head pin. The 7 count. Come on, stay up. And Zach Miller with his 5th straight mark. PW with just 9 opens in the match so far. Hoffman on the 146 and counting, now in the 9th frame of Game 1. He'll get all of them. 3 straight spares for the senior. Here's Tyler Panzer, and right away he realized that wasn't good. 1, 2, 8, 10. And Styles Costello needs to re-rack. This is not like the Professional Bowling Association when you're only allowed 2 per match. Or 2 per game. You're allowed as many re-racks as necessary, but there has to be a reason. And Panzer picks it up. Another okay frame for PW. 1 strike, 3 spares, and 1 open. PW right now at 17 X's, 3 spares, and only 9 opens. Costello has got the 3-10 split after the re-rack. He's at 189 and counting. Costello looking for his 5th 200 game in conference play. He has 9 total in his conference career. Talking with anchor AJ Borrell. Cannot get it, and that's his 2nd open. Costello still on track, though, to get a 200 game. He's at 190 right now, so a strike will put him at 200. No worries, it's 3 games you bowl, and the 4th game is the cumulative, the total. Here's Borrell. Oh, what the flush. That's his 6th strike. Give Borrell 179 and counting. Looking for his 5th series this season of 600 or more in conference play. As 4th actually. He has 2 600s and 1 700 plus. 796 to 773 Upper Moreland. Now in the 10th frame, the bonus frame. Each bowler can get free rolls maximum. Connell starts out with a 9. Upper Moreland entering this final frame with 18 strikes. 17 spares. And 10 opens, and David Serto starts out the 10th with a strike, so he has back-to-back jacks, 185 and counting. Still in the running for his 4th conference 200. And looks like it's going to have to be a spare there. Looked like maybe another re-rack was possible because there's a pin in the right gutter, but Serto will manage. Connell picks up the spare, and that is a turkey. Let's pass the gravy, please. 3 in a row. He's at 205. That's his 4th 200 in conference play. And for his conference career, that's his 11th on varsity. Pointing left, and it's all 10. Not a bad ball, and a good finish for Ethan Connell, 138. Howard Cohen might think about taking him off varsity for the next game. 3 in a row for Serto. Cannot finish for the Clover. Good finish. That's a 2-14 first game. A solid start for the senior Serto. So the first ball for Ben Aya on the left lane is a 7, so he's at 174. Right now it's Upper Moreland 830, Plymouth Whitemarsh 822. Here at Facenda Whitaker Lanes in East Norriton. Evan Elgart. Oh boy. 4-6-10 split. Elgart at 156. Howard Cohen concerned with the flow of the girls and boys pace of play. So the spare is converted by Aya. Elgart can only get 2 of 3. He'll finish with 158. That's only the 10th open for PW. And that's all 10 for Ben Aya. Aya finishes with 187. It's above his average. Aya 169.88 in the conference. So that'll help. Jack Snyder now. Oh, he's got another split. It's at 167 and counting. It's 843 for Upper Moreland, 845 for PW. Here's Hoffman. And he's got a 310 split. Wow. Head coach Jeff Blizzard, the only head coach in PW bowling history, trying to give encouragement. Snyder will get 2 of 3 back-to-back opens for PW. Snyder finishes game 1. In his final home match in conference play with 169. Oh, a little bit too much spin to the right, and that's going to be an open for Charles Hoffman at 166. Zach Miller on the right. Fortunate it is not a split. And that's all 10 for Styles Costello. 10's aplenty for him. That's the 7th strike. It's at 200. He is feeling it. Costello's high this season, 225. Last season, his conference high was 220. Miller, come on, stay up. No. And that's going to be a 186 finish for the senior Miller. Costello with a 7 count and a 6 actually. He'll try to finish with a 210. 3 straight opens for PW. It's 876 to 865. Upper Moreland might actually win this first game. Always appears to be trap matches in Upper Moreland at PW bowling matches. And Costello opens in his final ball. He finishes with 206. Good start for Styles Costello. 876 for Upper Moreland, 879 for PW. Hanser will pick it up. His third straight spare. That's 155 and counting. Here's AJ Borrell. Starts way outside on the left side, but is able to pound it in. Trying to remain open free, 900 to 882, so Upper Moreland's going to win game 1. Panzer will finish with a strike, and that's how you finish. 165, though. PW with 892. And AJ Burwell is going to be open free through one game. Upper Moreland has 904, so Upper Moreland's going to win the first game and have a 1-0 lead. So Upper Moreland picking up its 20th conference win. Upper Moreland cannot finish with a winning record in conference play. Final ball, and Borrell will knock it. No, it will not knock it down. Good finish for Borrell. 216. That is his 10th 200 game. That's his 19th 200 game, pardon, and conference play this year. Good finish for the Golden Bears. Final score in game 1. Upper Moreland 913. Plymouth Whitemarsh 892. Upper Moreland led by AJ Burrell's 216 open free performance. Styles Costello had 7 strikes for 206. The Colonials were led by David Sertos 214. Upper Moreland won the first game 913 to 892. 2 Golden Bears had 200 plus games. David Serto to lead off had the lone 200 game for the Colonials. David Serto, senior, will start it off on the right side. And he'll start it off with a strike. Here's Ethan Connell, who had a 138 in his first game. He'll get 7. Next will be another senior, Evan Elgart, who had a 158 in the first game. PW is now 19.5 and 25.5 in the conference. 9 count for Elgart. This date in series history, January 30th, 2015, Upper Moreland defeated Plymouth Whitemarsh here at Facenda 3-1, but by 5 pins, 27-58 to 27-53. PW won the first game 940 to 893, but then the Golden Bears won 913 to 844 and 952 to 949. And it's only 2 of 3 for Ethan Connell. So he'll start off with an open. Elgart's second ball. Oh, good. Some bowlers you'll see using different balls between their first and second rolls. Their second rolls, you might see them with a spare ball. Here's Ben Aya. Leaves the 10. Aya had a solid first game for 187. Jack Snyder now. This is going to be his 21st conference game, so after this, he'll be eligible to qualify for Eastern PA Regionals if he happens to do so. Won't be by average, but might be at the Suburban One American Tournament as a wild card. Benaya picks up the 1-pin spare. Right now it's 29-19 Colonials early in the first frame of game 2. And that's an open for Snyder. Jack Snyder this season, 169.84 in conference varsity matches, with 226 high game and a 582 high series, a pair of 200s. Charles Hoffman with a 3-pin split. There's Zach Miller. Yikes. Had a 186 first game. He's going to need a really high series to get back in contention for a top 10 average. And that's into the gutter for Hoffman. Oh, he has a split open. 4-7-10 split for Mueller. And he only gets 1 of 3. By the way, the team PW bowled against on January 28th, Springford. Well, that team is in its first season and is going to the Eastern PA Regionals. Did well at the Eastern PA Independent Qualifiers. So congratulations to the Springford Rams in their inaugural season going to Regionals. Good start in the second game for Tyler Panzer. PW at 47 after the first frame of game 2. 2 strikes, a spare, and 2 opens for the Colonials. Costello with 1 pin, and he'll knock it down. Had a 206 in the first game. Costello has not had a 600 series in conference play during his Upper Moreland career. Now will be anchor A.J. Borrell. By the way, as a freshman, when he got the last wild card spot, he was 59 pins behind that final wild card spot entering the final game. That'll be a 4-7 opportunity. Borrell in 2016 earned 4th place at the conference tournament with a 6-14. He entered game 3 59 pins behind Happero Horsham's Thomas Best. He shot 269 in that third game, starting out with 8 straight strikes. Borrell gets his first open of not only the game, but the match. He had a 216 in the first. Very unsettling first frame for the Golden Bears. No strikes, 2 spares, 3 opens. Second frame now of game 2. And Ethan Connell for team wearing the purple and tan with a split 8, 3-10 split. Suburban One Sports is the Suburban One League's premier high school sports authority, providing athletes and fans the latest sports news, scores, and photos. Visit Suburban One Sports online at www.suburban1sports.com. Connell, his second roll. Whoa, could not get enough spin. Back-to-back opens. It's like the first game for him where he opened in each of his first 3 frames for settling down. So right now it's 53-47 Golden Bears. Upper Moreland up 1-0. Serto on a strike gets an 8 count. Upper Moreland looking for its first strike in game 2. Benaya on a 9 spare. Now waiting for Serto with a second ball on the left lane for the Colonials. Oh, could not get down to 10. It's the third open already for PW. Aya misses the 6, so he'll have a 1-pin spare opportunity for the second straight frame. Evan Elgart with like a nice game. Had a spare in his first frame here. Elgart's high series, 538. Oh, and he rolls it in the gutter. It's our first ball gutter of the match. Aya's second. Money. Back-to-back spares for the 2-hole for Upper Moreland. Aya has 29. This is not going in the gutter. But it's only a 7 count, so it's a gutter 7. Open frame. It's already the 4th open of game 2, and we're in the second frame for the Colonials. Charles Hoffman can't get the 10 to fall from a messenger. Jack Snyder now. The pins wobble down in his favor. It's his first strike of game 2. Give him 19 and counting. 82-81 Colonials over the Golden Bears, middle of frame 2. Charles Hoffman after the first frame open, looking to pick this up. No, back-to-back opens for Charles Hoffman. Zach Miller. Jumping up and down again. Every day is different. Had 234, 209, 234 against Norristown in January 24th. Now the pins haven't been so kind. Styles Costello. Had 2 turkeys. That's right, 2 periods of 3 strikes in a row in game 1. Miller will finish it. Just needs to settle down. Costello will finish the deal. He has back-to-back spares, give him 27 and counting. Tyler Panzer now. Won't get it. So with that, non-strike. On this date in 2012, January 30th, 2012, Julia Selfinger became the second Colonial to roll a perfect game. The Colonials lost to North Penn 3-1. So it won't be a repeat for the time being. AJ Borrell, meanwhile, with Upper Moreland's first strike in game 2. 1 strike, pair of spares, and a pair of opens. PW in frame 2 had a strike, a spare, and 3 opens. So 3 strikes, 2 spares, and 5 opens. Frame 3 of game 2. It's 110-108 Colonials, but Upper Moreland won game 1. 913-892. PW now 19.5 and 25.5 in conference play. And Ethan Connell has a split. David Serto needs a re-rack because not all the pins are in possession. So Ethan Connell with his second straight split. The Suburban One League Bowling Facebook page is your source for present and past standings for the Suburban One League. Find out averages, high game, high series, and additional statistics. Visit facebook.com and search SOL Bowling. So Serto will have his first, and he has to deal for the dreaded 3-10 split, which I believe he converted in frame 8 of game 1. Now Connell will have his second roll on lane 43, in the purple and tan. That's in the gutter. Lanes are a bit tricky right now here at Facenda. And Serto can't finish it off. He missed the 10. Back-to-back opens gives him 37 and counting. Connell's at 26 through 3 with 3 straight opens like the first game. Elgart, all 10. He wasn't sure about it after the first ball gutter in the second frame. Benaya gets all 10. Now this past weekend, there was a Lubbock Open tournament in the Professional Bowling Association in which something like that happened. I believe to Dick Allen. Dick Allen defeated Sean Rash by a pin by basically luck. Rash needed it to spare. In the 10th frame, he missed the 10 pin, which opened the door for Allen, who doubled and got 8 to win by a pin. Jack Snyder with back-to-back jacks. Hoffman also got a strike for the Golden Bears. Right now, it's 149-146 PW over Upper Moreland in game 2. Styles Costello, whoa, way outside. Where was that? Zach Miller now open and spare. By the way, the other perfect game in PW history besides Julius Selfinger on January 3rd, 2012 was Chris Hammis against Norristown, February 4th, 2008. And that's a good second ball for Styles. Costello, that's spare, 40 and counting. Looking for his first 600 in conference play. Miller finds that pin. And he's got back-to-back spares, give him 37. A.J. Borrell gets the jersey, but not the strike. Panzer with a 7 count. In 2016 at Eastern PA Regional Singles, Borrell finished 147th out of 180 with an 828 5-game total. And he'll knock it down. He could do a lot better than that today. He has improved a lot throughout his high school career. Panzer will pick it up. For free frames in Game 2, Upper Moreland 179, Plymouth Whitemarsh 178. So Upper Moreland right now with 3 strikes, 6 spares, and 6 opens. Plymouth Whitemarsh has 5 strikes, 4 spares, and 6 opens. PW didn't get its 6th open in Game 1 until the 6th frame. 4th frame now in Game 2, Ethan Connell looking for his first mark of the game. But not yet. Head coach Howard Cohen liked that ball. David Serto. Not another split. I'm a break. It's senior day. It's the 4, 6, 10. You got to go in between 6 and 10. Connell will not get it. Open for Connell. He's at 35 for 4. Almost, but not enough. Strike, open for Serto after a 2-14 first game at 46 for 4. Ben Aya. Aya will deal with 7. Watch out, Evan Elgart. That did not look promising. 3 and 9 pins. Upper Moreland came into the match averaging 853 per conference game. And that is a 7-2 first open for Ben Aya in Game 2. Good finish for Elgart, who has a pair of spares, a strike, and an open. 47 and counting for Evan Elgart. Charles Hoffman on the right lane, and Jack Snyder of Plymouth Whitemarsh on the left. That looked flush, but the 10 will not allow him to get a turkey. Snyder with 4 200 games in conference play and varsity in his career. Good finish. Back-to-back strikes for Hoffman. Back-to-back jacks gives him 46 for 4. Hold in there. Hang in there. It won't. Second open for Snyder. Both were on 9 counts. So 66 for Snyder for 4. We go to the 4 holes now in the 4th frame. 234 to 226 Plymouth Whitemarsh over Upper Moreland, but the Golden Bears won Game 1. 912 to 890, 913 to 892. So 21 pin advantage entering this game. Last season, Upper Moreland was 21 and 35 in the conference, looking to match the conference win total from a year ago with one more win. Styles Costello with authority. That's his first strike. He has nothing but marks in this game. Good pickup there. Mueller with 3 spares in a row. Still looking for another strike. He has 56 and counting. Upper Moreland down 7 pins, 253 to 246. Now the anchor leg of game 2, and the pins didn't want to come down at one point. Now they are. Tyler Panzer now for the Colonials. Yes, sir. Second strike. Here's Borrell. Out of trouble. Second 8 count of the game. He opened in the first with an 8 and nothing else. PW in the frame with a strike, a pair of spares, and a pair of opens. PW has 273 through 4 in game 2. Borrell with just 1 open frame in the match. Ethan Connell now on lane 43 for Upper Moreland, and still looking for a strike or spare in the game. Looks like the oil isn't friendly right now. In case you're wondering, there are specific bowling balls you're not allowed to use. I know in past years, bowlers in Eastern PA Regionals and Pennsylvania High School State Tournament could not use, I believe, a jackal, a specific jackal ball. Connell with his first mark of game 2 in the match. That's his 7th mark. And that's a all 10 for Serto. That's the second strike of the game. Give him 56. Be nice for on senior day to get a 600 series. Evan Elgart now in the 5th frame of game 2 on back-to-back marks. Oh, that's beautiful. Second strike of the game for him. He had to figure out the two-handed approach throughout the years. That was a good ball. Ben Aya on the left lane. 1, 2, and 4 pins. Jack Snyder. 2 1-pin misses and 2 strikes. And he always seems to have a solid approach, and that bit him that time. He's got a split. Benaya with the spare. 3 spares in the strike for Aya. Give him 77 and counting through 5 in game 2. PW up 310 to 284, but down 1-0 in games. Snyder got 2 of 3. Back-to-back open frames. He's at 75. Hard to believe Charles Hoffman has not had a 600 series in conference play. He rolls a 9. He rolled a couple of games as a freshman on varsity. Had a 175 high game. Here's Miller. He doesn't know why that 10 pin's holding up. That's his 4th straight frame with a 9 count to begin. The previous 3 resulted in spares. That's in the gutter. Left lane's giving fits. So's the left lane. The left and right lanes are giving fits. Second open for Miller. Now Styles Costello with the 6 and 10. Now Tyler Panzer, the PW anchor. And he takes care of business with his 3rd strike of the game, 2nd in a row. PW with 3 strikes. No spares. And a pair of opens. PW already with 10 opens. Costello opens for the first time in the game. He's at 78 and counting before A.J. Borrell The lefty takes his turn. Upper Moreland already has 10. Opens. The Golden Bears had 12 in the first game. Second to third diamond on the left side. Morel has a 7 count. If you looked at the A.J. Burrell of 3 years ago, you wouldn't have imagined him turning out this way. It's amazing how he's progressed. Now he's a sophomore, 174.5. Junior, 180.24. Now about 194 average. And he's been improving every day. 4th straight mark for Burrell. No strikes, but 3 spares and 2 opens for the Golden Bears. Through 5 frames of Game 2, it's Plymouth Whitemarsh 350 and the Upper Moreland Golden Bears 346. Fun to mention, Upper Moreland has some ties to Plymouth Whitemarsh. Upper Moreland principal Joe Caracappa previously was a PW assistant principal and a Colonial Elementary School teacher. 8 count for Connell. The athletic director for Upper Moreland, Devin Landgraf, previously served as PW head boys soccer coach. The only head boys soccer coach to coach the Colonials varsity boys soccer team in a district quarterfinal match. Serto on his 6th frame, 1, 2, and 8 pins. Ethan Connell, 6'10" he has to deal with. It's at 61 and counting. Had a 138 first game. And it stays on the lanes. He has back-to-back spares. Give him 63. Upper Moreland and PW squared at 64. Pending the roll. And all 3 falls. First spare for Serto. It's now 370 to 364. 76 and counting for Serto. Ben Aya. The 10 won't budge. Elgart. He felt that 10 should have fallen down. There are 5 Suburban 1 American bowlers entering today who had averages of 200 or greater. James Carnell led the pack with 219.42 of North Penn. Has 3 700 series this year. Benaya with the conversion, so will Elgart. 87 and counting, 390 to 383. It'll be Jack Snyder for PW and Charles Hoffman for the Golden Bears. So the top 10 for Suburban 1 American, James Carnell, Lucas Francis at 206.97, Matt Morley at Hatboro Horsham, 205.83, Matthew Weil of Quakertown at 203.03, Nick McNamara of Penridge, 201.28. All 10 for Hoffman, and that's 4 straight marks for the Golden Bears. Here's Snyder. Oh, leaves 1 pin in there. A.J. Burrell is 6th at 193.92. Martin Grace, North Penn, 7th at 192.86. Styles Costello will leave 1 as well. 8th in the conference, Drew Massack of North Penn, 190.89. Nate Taggart, North Penn, 9th at 189.53. Tyler Panzer entered today 10th at 187.55 for the Colonials. He's going to need to do a lot better this game to stay in the hunt. Good 1-pin pickup for Snyder. Costello. Oh. How he was able to do that. Just amazement. He can't believe that he actually made it. He got it down. Now there's Zach Miller. Ooh. Really shouldn't be jumping up and down. A.J. Burrell is giving him a lay down. Burrell to make this an open free frame for the Golden Bears. He got all 10. His 2nd strike and 5th mark in a row. That's 2 strikes and 3 spares for Upper Moreland. Upper Moreland 423, PW 409 in the 6th frame. Miller's going to get it. And exchanges some pleasantries with teammate Tyler Panzer as PW is looking to mark out this frame. Usually the second frame of matches is the strongest for teams here at Facenda this season. Maybe it's the weather outside. Here's Tyler Panzer. Nothing snowy there. It's a turkey. 440 to 423. Colonials through 6 frames of game 2. Upper Moreland up 1-0 in the match. PW marked out in frame 6. Serto. Ooh, he's got another split. That's his third split opportunity of game 2. PW 10 strikes, 10 spares, and 10 opens. Oh, good ball for Ethan Connell. That's his first strike of game 2. Got 83 and counting, and gets a fist bump from Coach Howard Cohen. He's going to go for it. Again, comes up short. Good news is it's 3 games, not 1 game alone. And conference matches count toward qualifying for the Eastern PA Regionals. All 10 for Elgart. That's his third strike of the game. Give him 107 and counting. Ben Aya leaves the 6 and 10 pins for Upper Moreland. Jack Snyder, the PW Freehold, will be on the right lane. The 2019 Eastern PA Regionals are March 1st and 2nd, scheduled at Lancaster's Leisure Lanes. Singles competition scheduled for March 1st. Team competition March 2nd. Top 12 singles and top 6 teams will go to states a couple weeks later, which will be held at 222 Dutch Lanes in Ephrata, if the circumstances permit. Ben Aya with his third straight spare, this time 2 pins spare. Give him 114 and counting. 492 to 461 Colonials before the roll. Oh boy. 1 of 2 for Snyder. That's his 4th open. There's Charles Hoffman. Back-to-back jacks. His 4th strike of the game. Give him 103 and counting through 7. Zach Miller. He only needs a strike. And he gets it. Maybe his confidence will be boosted now. Now Styles Costello. Oh no! Oh no, the 10 can't go. He's in dismay. Tyler Panzer gets an 8 count after the turkey. Still looking for a first clover of the match, 4 in a row. Costello should just go for the 4 and 7. Oh, he only gets 1 of 3. He was going for it. That's his 2nd open of the game. Give him 103 and counting. And that's in the gutter for Panzer. PW with a pair of strikes, no spares, 3 opens in the 7th. PW at 537, Upper Moreland 496. The A for AJ Borrell is Aaron. And AJ Borrell with his 2nd straight strike. Give him 113 and counting. It's 537 to 516 Colonials over Upper Moreland in game 2, entering the 8th frame. 3 strikes, a spare, and an open for the Golden Bears. And frame 7. By the way, program and note, the February 2019 school board meeting in the Colonial School District, the public business meeting, has been moved up to February 19th so that the school district can get a preliminary budget submitted by the February 20th deadline. So it's a split 8 count for Connell. Serto gets 8. Also, the school board meeting for February 2019 could be at the same time as the second round of the District 1 6A boys basketball tournament. Could be a busy night for us if the circumstances permit. Second ball now for Connell. Oh, can't get it down. He only gets 1 of 2. He has 101 through 8. Serto gets them both. That's 102 and counting after a 2-14 first game. 5:47 to 5:34. Keeping it close. PW in the lead. Elgart. And he's at 123 now. Ben Aya has a split 7. And he somehow brushes them aside. Good job for Elgart. After the gutter 7 the second frame, he's got 3 strikes and 3 spares since that point. He's at 127 and counting. Ben Aya gets 2 of the 3 on the split. So he's at 130 and counting through 8 in game 2. Jack Snyder. Oh, he leaves 4 in there. The Plymouth Whitemarsh varsity girls bowling team is on the verge of history. The Lady Colonials can continue getting good pin count. Jeff Blizzard's varsity Lady Colonials will qualify for the Eastern PA Team Regionals for the first time in program history, as Charles Hoffman gets the gravy and the turkey. He's at 133 and counting. Snyder's second ball, he misses 2. Now for Styles Costello. He gets all 10. Just second strike of the game, 113 and counting. He had a 206 in game 1. Zach Miller will hold up. Plymouth Whitemarsh girls varsity team entered January 30th, 4th place in Suburban 1 American. Top 2 in both Suburban 1 American and National automatically qualify. And the final 2 berths for regionals are given based on pin count. PW right now in the second wildcard spot for girls. And AJ Burrell with the messenger strike. He's got a turkey. He did not have many of those when he began on varsity with Upper Moreland 3 years ago. Come on. What's up with Zach Miller? You would think on senior day you would give it your all, as I'm sure that the lanes are frustrating us all. 122 and counting through 8. Upper Moreland at 620, PW 593. Panzer. Can't get a messenger there. Upper Moreland had 3 strikes and 2 opens in the 8th frame. Already more opens in game 2 than game 1. David Serta will begin his 9th frame and knock down 8. Panzer's got a split. Oh, he's going to get nothing. PW no strikes, 2 spares, and 3 opens. PW's got 16 opens. PW in its 4-0 win over Norristown on January 24th, I think, had 32 opens the whole match. And 75 strikes and 54 spares. Serto picks up his second straight spare. He's got 120 and counting. Low score here, 620 to 619 Upper Moreland. The Golden Bears won by 21 pins in game 1. Here's Elgart. Leaves 3 pins on the right side. Ethan Connell for Upper Moreland in purple. Flush. His second strike. Elgart's second ball. Oh, can't get the 10. What's up with the 10? Elgart's at 143 and counting through 9. Ben Aya. Messenger not kind. Speaking of messenger pins, the 2015 Pennsylvania High School boys team state champ was the Chamonix thanks to a few messenger strikes. Fink got 7 strikes in a row in the do-or-die game against Hempfield of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Hempfield West, to win the match and the state title. So Snyder with an 8 count. It's a 1-pin spare for Ben Aya. He's at 140 and counting for 9. Wow, Snyder with his 3rd straight open frame, his 6th of the game. PW has 18 opens. One more open would be 31, meaning 2 more opens would match the amount of open frames PW had the entire match against Norristown just 6 days prior to today. If they don't want to do that, they're going to have to do what Hoffman just did. That is a clover for Charles Hoffman. That is the first 4-bagger of the game, I believe, for either team. He's at 163 and counting. He'll eclipse his 166 in the 10th and final frame of the game. Styles Costello. .686 to 643 Upper Moreland before Miller. Cut Miller a break. He's got the mirror image split. PW 0 for 6 on split conversions this game. Costello will finish it off. That is the 7th straight mark for Upper Moreland bowlers. He's at 133 and counting. Miller will get 2 of 4. Jeff Blizzard likes that. Now the anchors, Tyler Panzer on the right and Upper Moreland's A.J. Borrell, the lefty, on the left. Panzer gets everything. That's his 5th X. Now here's Borrell. Clover for him. With authority. 720 to 661. Upper Moreland over PW in the 2nd game, and now Upper Moreland's starting to pull away. Good frame for the Golden Bears. 3 strikes, 2 spares, no opens. That's 16 strikes and 16 spares, 13 opens. PW, that frame. 1 strike, so that's 13 total. 1 spare, that's 13 total. 3 opens, that's 19. Serto opens with a 7 count to begin his 10th and final frame of the 2nd game. He's at 134 after a 2-14 first game. Ethan Connell. All 10, he's got back-to-back jacks and 2 more balls coming. Connell's high game this season, 186. Upper Moreland girls bowling team has only 2 bowlers. Not long ago, Upper Moreland varsity girls had won 3 straight Suburban 1 American titles. But teams change over time, players graduate. So Serto completes the spare, his 3rd in a row. He's at 137. 740 to 678 Upper Moreland. Golden Bears looking to get win number 21 on the season in terms of game wins in the conference to match last year's total. Connell leaves 1 pin. He'll go for a 150 with a spare. Serto's bonus ball. Oh, gets a 9 count. Not a good 2nd game. 146. That right now is a 360 for David Serto. He's going to need a 240 for his 2nd 600 series in conference play this season. And now Connell just waiting. Giving lane courtesy to bowlers beside him. Here's Evan Elgart. Leaves the right side. I think he was also allowing Plymouth Whitemarsh Junior varsity bowler Chris DiOrio to have a crack at his frame. It's nice of him. Good ball for Connell. Strike and spare in the frame gives him 150s at 288. Oh, fall down for Evan Elgart, who's at 153 and counting. 759 to 697 Upper Moreland. Ben Aya avoids trouble. Elgart, final roll. Leaves the 10. He's shaking his head. 162 in the second game for Evan Elgart. Ben Aya had a 187 in the first game. Oh, he's going to get nothing. Oh, a 156 in the second. Entering our final game of the day. Jack Snyder and Charles Hoffman. Snyder a PW in the left lane. Both seniors. Flush. It's only his third strike of the game, his first since frame 3. We're in game 2, 10th frame. Hoffman on a clover. Oh boy. It's at 187. That's a 5-10 split. Hoffman's high game this season, 232. 595 is his high conference series. 200 games in the conference. Snyder leaves 4. It's 799 to 722 Upper Moreland. Nothing there. So 187 for Charles Hoffman. Snyder. Boom. Strike and a spare in the frame. 138. It's at 307 right now. Through 2. Styles Costello, yikes. Avoided trouble. 1, 2, and 8 pins. 206 in the first game. Not sure if it's oil or that the pins aren't being kind. The first game was much better. And Zach Miller wished his second strike. And got the free. And Zach Miller, the defending Suburban 1 American Tournament champ, last year was held here at Facenda, Whitaker Lanes. Had a 649 free game total. Second place, 6 pins behind, was senior and teammate Jake Newell. Newell graduated in June 2018. And Miller will get 7. Costello's bonus ball will leave 1. So Styles Costello for 159 after a 206. Now leave it up to A.J. Borrell. It's 825 to 743 Upper Moreland. The Golden Bears look to be in good shape to take a 2-0 lead. By the way, Jack Snyder is now eligible to qualify for regionals because he has bowled 21 varsity games in conference play. Miller gets 7 and 2, so that's an open, a 149 after a 186 first game. Tyler Panzer. 8 count. A.J. Borrell on a clover. 5 in a row. Borrell's high game in conference play in his career, 299 in December of 2017. He's going to have his second 200 game. He's already at 203. And Panzer picks it up. Borrell's high series this season, 719. 6. in a row. That's his 7th strike. And Borrell at 223. Could put himself in a position with a really excellent third game to get another 700 series. So 168 for Panzer. Seven in a row for A.J. Borrell to end the game. 233 final score in Game 2. Upper Moreland 885. Plymouth Whitemarsh 763. 1 game to go. Upper Moreland leads 2-0 on the Colonials. We enter Game 3 with Upper Moreland up 2-0 on PW, 1798 to 1660. Now there's David Serto, and wow, that's a rough first roll in his final game at Facenda Whitaker Lanes at conference play. Ethan Connell, a 288 series so far. And he'll get 7. The CITV YouTube channel, by the way, is your online video source for sports, school board meetings, educational highlights, and more from the students, staff, and faculty of Colonial School District. Visit youtube.com and search Colonial Instructional Television. Second roll, money. Spare for Serto. And I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. It's January 30th, 2019. It's our final bowling broadcast of the 2018-19 school year. Also PW's final home match of the season. PW will have 2 conference matches to go before postseason play. Upper Moreland has 1 match left in conference play. Good 3-count finish. Spare for Connell. Evan Elgart. Yes. That's a good way to start your final frame at home. Ben Aya's got all 10. Aya now at 344 in the match. A.J. Borrell of Upper Moreland with back-to-back 200-plus games is at a 449 series. There were times in which he couldn't even reach 449 at Upper Moreland early in his varsity career. Jack Snyder with the jack. He's got 10. Charles Hoffman is feeling it. Now time for the 4 holes. When we get to the second frame, we'll tell you a story that had taken place at Facenda Whitaker when Borrell was a freshman. It happened in the second frame of Game 3 in that meeting. And Zach Mueller with the strike. Now Styles Costello. Keep it going. That's the 6th strike combined for the 2 teams in the first frame. Upper Moreland had 41 strikes in the first 2 games combined. Here's Tyler Panzer. Leaves 1. Here's Borrell. And that ends his string of strikes in a row at 7. He ended Game 2 with 7 in a row. He had 8 strikes, 3 spares, and an open in Game 2 for a 233. Panzer's second roll. Clean frame for PW. 3 strikes and 2 spares, no opens. 50. Oh, them fall. Same thing. 3 strikes, 2 spares, no opens for the Golden Bears. When Borrell was a freshman, back on December 16, 2015, Upper Moreland won 3-1, 2787 to 2,657. Borrell double guttered frame 2 of Game 3, finished that game for 126 and a 477 series. We'll see if he can get past that this time around. So another 7 count for David Serto. Now Ethan Connell. Oh, that's a better start for him in this game than the first 2. The first 2 games he had 3 opens in a row Game 1, 4 opens to start Game 2. He's at 30 and counting. Job well done so far. Back-to-back spares for Serto. Elgart's next. David Serto for 27 and counting in frame 2 of game 3. Evan Elgart on the strike. Boom. That balloon is his first double of the match. Evan 30 and counting. He's at 350 and counting. Aya, that is the first open by a bowler this game. And Aya will walk back in disappointment. So it's 88 to 87. Upper Moreland in the middle of frame 2 in game 3. Upper Moreland up 2-0 in the match. Snyder on the strike leaves the 6 and 10 pins. Charles Hoffman will need a 247 game to have his first conference 600, and he's a senior. Never gotten a 600. His highest conference series is 595. Second ball now for Snyder. Good finish. PW 8 bowlers, 8 marks. 107, 102 now, Colonials. Oh, Hoffman leaves the 5. Back-to-back opens for the Golden Bears. Zach Miller really wants to finish strong in this one. One off his leg, but he gets them all down. He's got a double. Styles Costello. Yes. He's got a double as well. And now here's A.J. Burrell. How has he grown? Has he gotten past that double gutter in frame 2 of game 3 from December 16, 2015 here against the Colonials? No double gutter here. That's a strike. And that is 3 more strikes for the Golden Bears. So they have 6. No spares in the second frame and 2 opens. Tyler Panzer now will do his second frame. By the way, programming note, this is the only broadcast this week that is taking place at its scheduled time. We originally intended on bringing you Abington at PW boys basketball January 29th. Well, after this bowling match, we're going to head back to the high school, set up the equipment at PWHS Main Gym West, and bring you the makeup of Abington at Plymouth Whitemarsh boys basketball. Should be a fun one. That was a strike there for Panzer, and now the third frame for Serto. And we were supposed to bring you on February 2nd, a Saturday, Plymouth Whitemarsh at Norristown Wrestling. Well, that has been moved to Wednesday, February 6th at 6:30 p.m. at Norristown. We still plan on doing that, so we wanted to run those program notes to you. So PW up 163 to 146. And it's a 9 count for Connell. He's on a good start this game. And PW, 11 bowlers, 11 marks. By the way, this day 7 years ago, PW had an 1160 game. The same game that Julius Selfinger had the 300, but it was a 3-1 loss to North Penn. Elgart. Cranberry sauce, it's a turkey. Give him 60 and counting. Better start for your final home match. And that's flush. Spare, strike, spare for Connell. He's all smiles. And right now, the lanes are being super kind to the Colonials and the Golden Bears. This game. Here's Snyder. Beautiful. Second strike in 3 frames. Here's Aya. And he's fortunate that didn't stand. Otherwise, it would have been a tricky split. 5-pin stands for Aya. Zach Miller looking to get in on the feast. Colonials up 215 to 175, but PW trailed 1798 to 1660. Entering this game. Cannot get the turkey. Leaves the 6 and 10. And I think there's a problem for Ben Aya. Something doesn't look right. So he's going to have to call the service desk here in East Norriton. Oh no, that is the first open for a PW bowler this game. Miller isn't happy about that. He's at 54 and counting for free. Now here's Tyler Panzer. Leaves a pin. By the way, in Zach Miller and David Serto's varsity debuts, which was February 4th, 2016 at Brunswick Zone in Feasterville, the 3-1 loss to Council Rock South. PW won the first game 690 to 683, but lost the next two 909 to 743, 710 to 690 as Panzer is open free for free. PW 259 to 175. 2 strikes and 2 spares in an open in the third frame. In that match from 2016, Mueller had a 406, Serto 437. Luke Kelly, another PW senior, was on varsity that day. He had a 366. Good pickup there for Aya. Because of that mishap, PW's going to wait for some time before getting to frame 4. We're in the middle of game 3's third frame. 259 to 176 Colonials. PW is going to need to win this game by 139 pins to have the match. If I did my statistics correctly. So now Hoffman on the 9 count, looking at the 10. That's not going to hang in there. Only the third open frame for the Golden Bears in this game. Now Styles Costello. .206 at 159 his first 2 games. Come on. Couldn't get that turkey breast there. I think he wanted a turkey breast, but instead got a 9 count. Costello, yes. It's a good hand. Strike, strike, spare. Give him 59 and counting for free in our final game. So again, top 10 averages in the conference will automatically qualify for singles regionals. And then 5 at the Suburban One American tournament, and that's a back-to-back jack situation for Borrell. And he's only had 1 frame in this entire match he opened, and that was the first frame of game 2. He's at 50 and counting. Very solid match for AJ Borrell. 259 to 234 Colonials, 4th frame. An 8 count for Serto. Entering the day with a 168.26 career conference varsity average. Connell. Looked like he might have let that one go a little early. Fortunately, it's an 8 count for him. 1 and 3 pins. Again, North Penn is your 2019 East Suburban One American champion with just 1 game loss total so far. With after today, 1 match to go. And that is an open for Certo. And for Connell, he picks it up. He has spare, strike, spare, spare. Evan Elgart, ooh, wanted a clover very badly. But lane 44 said, you're not getting it. Ben Aya. Goal posts. It's the 4-6, not the 7-10. Aya 0 for 1 in the match and splits. Oh, that's an open for Elgart. Jeff Blizzard's going to give him instruction now. 1 of 2 for Aya, his second open. Jack Snyder. 7 count on lane 44. Well, Burke's Bowling is your source for Eastern Pennsylvania high school bowling. Visit Burke's Bowling online at www.burksbowling.com. It's where you can find links for the Eastern PA Regionals, Snowblower Showdown, Icebreaker Classic. Those are tournaments that happened in December 2018. Snyder is going to pick it up. And he's got strike, spare, strike, spare. 70 and counting for 4. PWF free 16 to 278. Here's Hoffman with his second roll. And he rolls that in the gutter. He's got 3 opens in a row after a strike in the first frame. Charles Hoffman. Zach Miller. And he's got the free 6 and 10 pins. Styles Costello trying to roll with style. And he's got style. 3 strikes in 4 frames. Give him 79 for 4. Needs a 235 for 600. And he is possibly on track and just slapped AJ Borrell in the back. Maybe to signify it's your turn, Aaron. Good pickup for Miller. AJ Borrell now. He's got a 7 count. All 10 for Panzer. So PW a strike, 2 spares, and a pair opens. 346 to 319 Colonials before Borrell. Oh, and he opens for just the second time in the match. He's going to need to strike out if he wants to get a 251. By the way, I mentioned earlier, Borrell qualified for Eastern PA Regionals as a freshman by getting a 266 in his final game at the Forever One tournament, 8 strikes in a row. So he is used to racking up some strikes. So Certo with an 8 count, Connell also with an 8. Maybe, yeah, 8. Come on, spin, and it's going to get it. Upper Moreland in the 4th frame had a strike, a spare, and 3 opens. So Certo with 4 spares and an open at 71 and counting for 5. Elgart. That's a second straight frame, which he had pins to the right side. I think he's going to look for a house ball or a spare ball. Good pickup for Connell. About this, Ethan Connell has not opened since the 8th frame of game 2. Too much spin. He gets 3 of 4 and he says, come on, you got to be kidding me. He's competitive on the lanes and on the field. Can't blame him for that mentality. He has 90 for 5. Middle of game 3's 5th frame. Free 65 to free 41 PW, but PW is down 2-0 in games. Jack Snyder, free strikes, 2 spares, no opens. 90 and counting. Benaya, all 10 for him. 9th strike for Upper Moreland this game. PW's got 10 X's. Well, Zach Miller would really like to get a good string of strikes. And there's the first of possibly many. That's his third of the game. 84 and counting for him. It's 405 to 351. And PW needs to win game 3 and by about 139 pins to have the match. Charles Hoffman gets a re-rack due to the pins not setting properly. Tyler Panzer puts him away. And that's back-to-back jacks for the PW anchor, who qualified for regionals last year as a Suburban 1 tournament at large. Good jersey strike for Charles Hoffman. That's his 2nd strike of the game, giving him 56 and counting before Styles Costello. PW 12 strikes, 9 spares, 4 opens, through 5. Costello. Oh, leaves 2 pins. As long as he keeps getting marks, he's going to have a real good finish. His high game this season is 225. And if he gets 235, it'll be a new season high. And a 600 series. Oh, he shanks it. Now he might need to strike out to eclipse 235. Yeah, that just went off him in an awkward way. 425, 379. Plymouth Whitemarsh over the Golden Bears of Upper Moreland. Now AJ Bormel is dealing with another rack issue. My Colonial Instructional Television airs Channel 28 on both Comcast Cable and Verizon Fios in Plymouth Township, Whitemarsh Township, and Conshohocken Borough. You can even watch CITV videos online. For more information regarding CITV programming, visit www.colonialsd.org/community/CITV. AJ Borrell now for his 5th frame. And we've gotten used to that. His 3rd strike in the game. He's got 85 and counting. He has been so consistent this season. Now 6th frame. Ethan Connell. By the way, Borrell, his 2nd year as the anchor on varsity. David Serto with his 1st strike of game 3. There are no more matches here in conference play after today or his career. He plans on graduating in June 2019. By the way, speaking of graduating, congratulations to Sydney Kesselman. Plymouth Whitemarsh girls basketball announced she'll be heading to Cabrini University. And her future. Congratulations to PW's lone varsity girls basketball senior, if I'm not mistaken. Evan Elgart with an 8 count. Connell with his 1st open of game 6. He's at 102 and counting, the leadoff for Upper Moreland. So no substitutes in this match. Ben Aya will be on the left after Elgart gets his 3rd straight open after 3 straight strikes, and Ben Aya has back-to-back jacks. 85 and counting for Aya. Upper Moreland now has 38 200 games in conference play this season. Last year had 30 200 games in conference play, so already improving. Oh boy, Snyder has a split. Could be an open. 465 to 425 Colonials, but Colonials are giving breaks now. PW has 5 opens right now in this game. Charles Hoffman with back-to-back jacks. And now the 4 holes. Styles Costello for Upper Moreland in purple and tan on the left lane. Went really outside to the right and nearly got him all down. Clap his hands. Positive attitude. Zach Miller, the lanky stance. And he needs that. He'll jump up and down in jubilation. His 4th strike, his 2nd in a row. Pumps up his fists up and down. Zach Miller's all-time high game in conference play, 234. He had a couple 234s last week. January 24th against Norristown. That's another open for Costello. Tyler Panzer, PW underclassman anchor with a 9 count. AJ Burrell. Good to see that he is doing very well this year. Oh, can't get back-to-back jacks. He'll deal with the 6 on his next ball. Oh, spins it out is Panzer. And it's now 518 to 472 Colonials as we're about to enter the 7th frame of game 3 after the Borrell roll. PW a couple more strikes, 1 spare, 2 opens. Wow, 12.8 miles per hour. And that's a 2nd spare, 5th mark for Borrell. Give him 105 and counting through 6. Now the 7th frame of game 3, 518 to 474 Colonials, but Upper Moreland won game 1, 913 to 892, and game 2, 885 to 768. Now time for David Serto for Plymouth Whitemarsh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 pins. Ethan Connell got, I believe, the 6 pin. Connell at 111. His first 2 games were 138 and 150. Serto might have rushed that as well. His 2nd open of the game. Now he went from a 214 to a 146 and now a 107. Could be a mystery. Looks good, and Connell will finish it. Evan Elgart. Seems like if he doesn't get a strike, he struggles to find pins. 542 to 484 Colonials now in the 7th game 3. Ben Aya. Got 9 pins, leaving the 1. And Elgart for the 4th straight frame is open. 106 and counting. PW's final 2 conference matches are Thunderbird Warminster and Earl Bowl Earlington. Thunderbird, very difficult lane. Ben Aya getting the clap for the spare, his 3rd straight mark. He's at 114 and counting. Ben Aya. Jack Snyder now trying to rebound from his split miss last frame. Much better roll. Oh, let's deal with the 7. So both of these teams will not make regionals in the team competition this year. Hoffman, gobble, gobble, turkey. North Penn's going to win this conference for the 5th or 6th straight year. Penridge looks very good to be the other conference representative in 2nd place. Quakertown's 3rd, but will need Penridge to lose out and Quakertown to win out to have hope of getting 2nd. Styles Costello with an 8 count. Here's Snyder's second. And he finishes it up with the spare. PW up 552 to 551. Now we're close. And Costello fails again. Be difficult for him to get that 235 with his third straight open. Miller. That is a 4-10 split for Zach Miller. A.J. Borrell. That went right. Left the 2 and 4 pins. By the way, when A.J. Burwell qualified for regionals by getting the final wildcard spot at the 2016 Suburban 1 American Tournament, that made PW Sean DiOrio the first bowler out of a wildcard berth. Burwell had a 614, DiOrio had a 568. Oh boy. Only the third open frame of the match for Burwell. Miller misses as well. Couldn't get anything on that split. It's 576 to 568. Colonials as Upper Moreland finished in 7th, but Panzer has to take his 7th frame of game 3. A strike, 2 spares, 2 opens for the Golden Bears in this 7th frame. Here's Panzer. 3-10 split. David Serto to begin the 8th frame on the right lane. Wiggles to the right, and that is another strike. Only the second strike of the game for David Serto, who has 11 varsity conference 200 games in his PW career. Panzer, right idea. Oh, and it spun left. PW, 4 opens in the 7th. 1 spare, no strikes. Now we're in the 8th frame. Elgart with a 7 count. Just can't figure things out today, Evan Elgart. 158 and 162. He has to keep experimenting with other balls on the house rack. Ethan Connell. Seemed like that he flicked his wrist too quickly. The next edition of CITV Sports is going to take place after this bowling match tonight, January 30th, 2019. A big Suburban 1 American boys basketball showdown between conference leading Abington and 2-time defending district champ and the host Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials. We had been looking forward to that matchup at PWHS Main Gym West even before graduation in June 2018. That's how big of a game it is for the Colonials. So, another spare. That's the 6th of the game for Ethan Connell. Elgart picked up the 3-pin spare. Now in the 8th frame of game 3, here's Jack Snyder on 116 right now. Got a couple pins to the right. The 3, 6, and 10. We're in the purple and tan now for Upper Moreland. Ben Aya. It appears that Charles Hoffman and A.J. Burrell, the only seniors on varsity now, so Ben Aya has some room for improvement in the future. Jack Snyder gets the spare. He's at 133 and counting. And Snyder, one of 7 PW male seniors on the bowling team. Aya will pick it up. That's his 4th straight mark. Okay, so it's 629 to 603. Colonials in the 3rd. And PW has to win this game by 139 in order to even have the match. Upper Moreland always seems to trip up the Colonials at Facenda when PW thinks it's going to win. Oh, and that's a clover for Hoffman. That's his second clover in the match. Give him 136 and counting, his 5th strike of the game. It'll be Zach Miller on the right for PW, and on the left for UM, Styles Costello. Beautiful finish for Miller, his 5th strike. Not a good ball. Howard Cohen, the head coach for Upper Moreland, telling Styles to take it easy. Oh. He barked at him. Shouldn't do that to your head coach. It's a bit rebellious. And now he's going to have a talk. Costello's going to leave. That is unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. What he just did, Styles Costello. Now we'll be lucky if he gets a 500 series. Here's A.J. Borrell. Beautiful ball. That's his 4th strike of the game. It's 650 to 648 Upper Moreland. Panzer got a 9 in his first ball. We're going to have a close one at the finish. Second ball is money. Well, barely. So it's now 650 to 649 Upper Moreland. Clean frame for PW in the 8th. Now 9th frame. Certo, absolutely gorgeous. Back-to-back jacks for Certo. 137 and counting. Just 3 more pins will give him a 500 series. PW now with 18 strikes, 13 spares, and 10 opens. 43 opens in the match. We're in the 9th frame of our final game. All 10 for Connell. He figured things out here. He's got marks in every frame except the 6. And Evan Elgart got his first strikes since frame 3 of this game. 4 strikes in a row for the Colonials. PW just wants to salvage something here in Senior Day. Oh, that's a 9 count for Ben Aya. Now Jack Snyder. Looks like he has a wrist guard or another mechanism in his back right pocket. He's got an 8 count. In the gutter for Ben Aya. That makes it now 705 to 688 Plymouth Whitemarsh. In the 9th frame of game 3, Upper Moreland won games 1 and 2. And Snyder can't get it. This would be a big surprise if the Colonials get swept by Upper Moreland. Upper Moreland defeated a very, very good Quakertown team January 28th in straight sets. Oh, and that cannot be a 5-bagger for Hoffman. He leaves the 5 and 9. Well, Zach Miller needs a 165 here for a 500 series. And recently he's been really, really good. Just not his day. So again, it will remain 7 years to the date since PW's last perfect game. 300 by Julius Selfinger, January 30th, 2012. Oh boy, and he opens both Charles Hoffman. That's his 4th open. He's got 5 strikes, 4 opens, 160. Miller can't get it. This might be an excruciating finish. Costello. Anger management issues might have been solved after 4 straight opens. Gets a tap on the back from Borrell. Now here are the anchors. Tyler Panzer for Plymouth Whitemarsh. All 10. That's his 4th strike of the game. Give him 165 and counting. Panzer coming into the match with a 187.55 conference average, which was 10th in the conference. A.J. Borrell. Oh boy, that was way left. That looks like the A.J. Borrell of 2015-16 there. He's got to slow it down a bit. Burrell needs a 151 for a 600 series. So, wow, good season for him. This is going to be his third 600 series in conference play. He has a 719 also. Oh, gets 2. 2 strikes, 3 opens. And now to the final frame of the match, frame 10 of game 3. Ethan Connell leaves the 6 and 10 pins. PW enters the final frame with 20 strikes, 13 spares, 12 opens. PW had 12 opens in game 1. David Serto, final frame at Facenda Whitaker as a Colonial in conference play. And that's in the gutter. If PW happens to bowl its final 2 matches on schedule, for the first time in a while that Jet Blizzard bowled an entire season on schedule without making any changes, to my knowledge. 164 for Ethan Connell. That was his game 3 total. Now here's Ben Aya on the left side. I think that's a 452 series for Ethan Connell. That's a 170 for Serto. And Aya can't finish the deal. So Serto finishes with a 530 series. Ben Aya 160. That's a 500 free for Ben Aya. For Aya, that's a 7,500 in conference play. Evan Elgart, 774 to 763 Colonials in the game. 7 count. Charles Hoffman. He's at 169. All them fall for Elgart. He'll get a bonus ball. One final roll in his senior day. Scored a few goals on the pitch for one of Whitemarsh varsity. Hoffman gets it. So he'll get one more. And he'll get a 9 count. Elgart 165. That's a 485 series on his senior day. Charles Hoffman right now is at a 523 before this roll. So for Hoffman, that's going to be his 9th Conference 500 series. And he'll finish in the flurry. 180. Good game for Hoffman. 533 series for Charles Hoffman in his final conference road match. Now freehold Jack Snyder, who is in the 450s. Come on. I'll leave 1 for the moment. Now Styles Costello. Well, that puts him at a 500 series. Could have been better if he wouldn't have struggled frames 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's a double for Styles Costello. Now Snyder will look to get the 9. He does. So right now PW is up 813 to 803. Remind still have Zach Miller and Tyler Panzer and a bonus ball for Snyder. Upper Moreland at this point is going to win the match at least 3-1. Could be 4-0, and that's a turkey for Costello. Looking to finish on a clover. Snyder gets them all, and that's how you finish your senior day. 169. That's a 476 series. Not how he wanted it to end, but you have a couple more matches to go if the circumstances permit to improve. And Costello with a 9 count. Not a bad final game, 181. And boy, he is frustrated. That is not a player you want. And Miller knocks them all. One more pin and he's at a 500 series. Costello with a 546 series. Nothing to sneeze at, but I know he wants to do a lot better. So it's 833 to 832 Colonials. I think A.J. Burwell is going to let Zach Miller finish up. By the way, Burwell has a 606 right now. We're going to have a re-rack. Some storylines I haven't mentioned earlier. So Evan Lekowitz, who is currently 12th in Suburban 1 average for Penridge at 186.31, had a 300 game against Quakertown on January 23rd. That was the 4th in Penridge history, joining Zach Valentine, Mike Pine, and Jake Gordon. Also, North Penn right now has all 5 of its bowlers in the top 10. Would be the first team to send all of its bowlers to regional singles since North Penn in 2016. All 10 for Burwell. Miller looking to finish this up. And it'll stay there. And Zach Miller will finish his senior day with a 174. 5. Is that a 519? Or 509? I think a 509 did a little bit of a breakdance. A 509 series. Second ball for Burwell, who gets 8. So first game 216, second 233, but we'll get the 600 series. Here's Panzer, all 10. PW up 863 to 850, and that will seal at least one win for PW, and that's a double. By the way, I'd like to correct myself. PW actually entered this frame with 19 strikes, 14 spares, and 12 opened, and that's a turkey for Panzer. Burwell finishes with the 167. And that will be a 636. What a series for Burwell. Panzer with the last roll. 205 game, 213. Good finish for Tyler Panzer. PW wins game 3 by a score of 891 to 852. Actually, it was a 616 series for A.J. Burrell. Sorry about my math. 546 for Costello. 533 for Hoffman, 503 for Aya. So final score is 3-1 Upper Moreland. The Golden Bears pen total, as we calculate, was 2650. PW had 891. In this final game, 2554. Final score Upper Moreland 3, Plymouth Whitemarsh 1, 2650 to 2,546. So 2650 to 2546. That's another edition of CITV Sports. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. For more information regarding CITV programming, visit colonialsd.org/community/CITV.